Good morning. We have a little reminiscing of a flight which was while I was flying the mail run. I had one night a week off, and that was Saturday night. So Saturday, that was my day of play, and Sunday, of course, there was no drinking because I flew Sunday night. But back then I was drinking a beer and a little scotch on Saturday, which probably didn't help my, I don't know about throttle to bottle. 24 hours really was enough. But that's another story. Doctors probably can tell you if they're not drinkers what you really need to recover from alcohol. So anyway, I somehow got through it, and this is another thing that I got through. We went down here. I was going to college up there, finishing 4 years of college in business, and they asked if I would fly a group of people. Humboldt State College had gotten into the now it's called University of California, Humboldt, but it's also Cal Poly Humboldt now, but that wasn't what it was back when I went there in the late 60s. Anyway, then we were in the Camellia Bowl, and the Camellia Bowl was played, I can't remember the field, but it wasn't far from the Sacramento Executive Airport that I'm pointing at down here at the bottom of the screen, a little bit right of center. So there we are in Sacramento, and the weather system, no problem, is all clear going down there Saturday morning. The game, we beat the Fresno State Bulldogs and won the bowl game. Now, I wasn't following football at the time. I was flying the mail at the night and trying to finish college in the daytime, so I wasn't paying much attention. But to fly the Cessna 206, relatively new aircraft back then, I would say is maybe a couple of years old. I can't remember exactly what the instruments, but Garmin wasn't even on the horizon back then. So it would have been the old steam gauges, and with using VORs for navigation, or just dead reckoning. It was a straight shot. We took a straight shot down. We didn't fly any airways, and I took a straight shot going back. Now going back, a weather system was coming in, and in December, the freezing levels dropped down, and in this case it dropped down somewhere in the 6,000. The freezing level could have been right at 6,000 feet, and there was precipitation, and we did get ice on the aircraft along in here. And the minimum en route altitudes in here are up to the 6,000 range, possibly one of the little sectors at 7,000. So that's on the chart. Anyway, I'm going to shorten the flight here, and then we're going to take what would have been the safe flight, is flying over here to Mendocino VOR, and then going up here to Fortuna VOR, which is right at Ronerville, and straight in. And all along this path we can fly at 5,000 feet, which is below the freezing level. We can be IFR, because I was an IFR pilot. I got into weather in the summertime every night because of the coastal fog getting back into Arcata. Anyway, I could have taken a safe route, but I wasn't thinking on my feet. I just all I did was fly the mail run every night. That's the only flying I did. So I would call myself a restricted pilot. So in the night, just in the last week, I started thinking about this flight where we did get ice on the aircraft, and I'm bumping along pushing the minimum. I know I dropped down to 5,000 feet, and finally the ice came off, but also we we broke out. We could see the lights of Eureka, and we made it. But why put yourself at risk like that when you can just jog? And so I'm going to take off from this little airport here, climb up to 5,000 feet with no weather, and just show you that I'm going to hit. That's almost on a direct line, and we'll see how close we come to the ridges. And it's too close. It's within 500 feet, or we will have to either climb or alter our course direct. So that's the first step of this experiment, to see how close I came to not being here. Going back, my life would have been shortened. My two kids, Jack and Kitson, would not exist. I just took Jack over for a procedure, outpatient, on his shoulder this morning, and he's approaching his 50s. He's in his late 40s. Excuse me. He's approaching 50. He's in his late 40s, and my daughter is 50 or 51 years of age. So this is a little more than 50 years ago, huh? But it's almost clear in my mind. I can't remember the exact levels where the freezing level was, but we had ice on the aircraft. No need. A single engine airplane at night in the weather. No, you can't be doing that. You wouldn't do it. So then the next flight we'll come back and do the safe flight, Sacramento direct. There's one mountain that is there, but the weather hadn't gotten down this far, so we could have missed that weather. But a straight shot from Mendocino, you'll see that in the next. So the next two are dealing with my memory and how close I came to killing myself. And we had 5 other. It was a 6-place airplane. I believe we had six souls on board to go to a bowl game in Sacramento, the Camellia Bowl. Okay, here we go. So we'll program this to go to 5,000 feet. That looks like the Tri-Pacer, but it's actually a aircraft made in Yakima. All that talk, I got a little tickle in my throat. Okay, Diamond M Ranch. Here we go, ready to fly. This is pretty. So with the TBM, we'll have no problem getting out of here, and we'll just get ready. We go ahead and click this, and we're gonna go inside and get the. We don't need this chart yet. We'll get that out of the way, and we'll put this at 5,000 feet. So definitely that was below the ice. And this, for some reason, we'll go ahead and get it at 5. Yeah, let's push it down here to for some reason this doesn't go right to the even. I can't explain why, because I don't know why. So we gotta climb at 2,000 feet a minute. Here we go, and we're gonna navigate direct. Go ahead and click that on, and I believe that's all we need. The nav, we have to then turn the autopilot on, and we just press the button. The button will turn the autopilot on. So we're outside again. I take the brakes off, go to full power. I've never been to Diamond M Ranch. I believe we have enough room here. Coming up to the top of the stall speed. There we are. And it looks like we're up up in the air. We got the flaps up and the wheels up. And we'll go ahead and turn the autopilot on. We'll go ahead in here. And we'll turn the autopilot on. And we'll go back. So we probably could have waited a minute on that. No, it's not. It's getting on course. And we can get our speed up a little bit more. We need to get up to 5,000 feet. You can see how close it is to the hills. There we are on course, and we'll see how the 5,000 feet does it. And we need to get off the bird diverter. We got to get as much power as we can get here. And we're almost within, and you can see we're in the mountains here. We can go ahead and click this, click that on. We'll go right here and do that. I'm learning all kinds of things here. So we'll go back outside and see how we're doing with the hills. Yeah, and we are at 4930. We're gonna get real close, but we had not run into the weather. We didn't get into the weather until we got probably on the other side of this ridge here. But I can't recall, and I'm sure I was at 6,500 feet. I'd gone up to 6,500 feet. And here at 4,900, we can just take this up. We're going to clear this ridge, possibly the next one. So let's just click this up to the next up just 5,085. So we'll go ahead, bump that up.
500.
And that'll take us up 500 feet, and that'll just clear. We'll just clear the hills. But you can see. And again, that was an approximation of a direct line from the airport we took off from in Sacramento, and you can see that we are below. We're going slipping through a little area here, but we're below these ridges over here. And the reason I took off from this little airport is to shorten up this flight. And make this flight. So the reason I am at 5,000 is that was below the freezing level. The freezing level is at 6,000 feet.
500.
So I probably could be, and this next one is going to be a little closer. But you can see that, and then there's one over there that's a little bit higher than that. So we could alter our course here. We'll see. This isn't going to make it, so I'll just pull back on the yoke just to jump over this ridge right here. Here we go, and I probably have to turn the autopilot back on. And we went up to 5,800. Now I'll go back inside and turn the autopilot back on. And it's going back down to the 5,085 feet. Let me see what that is here. 5,085 feet. And we got one more ridge to contend with here. And again, this was in instrument condition, so we could pull that in and just show you. show you that we could go overcast, and we bring the overcast down. There we are, we're in it. So obviously you can't see. You can't see now. This isn't solid. Let's go inside. This is what it looked like. And then of course we ran into, and we're dropping down to 5,085. We're still at 5,700. We're easing back down to 5,075 feet. But we're below the freezing level, well below the freezing level. You can see across here, looking on here, you know, we're going across the mountain. Oh, here you can see also, look at, that's what we didn't have Garmin back then. And so anyway, we'll go ahead and open it up, and you look at how close we are. That's too close. That's too close. That's too close. Too close. So we stayed under 6,000. There we went above 6,000 feet. Okay, now we're gonna go back, take the weather back, and
500.
clear skies. And we're at 6,000 feet right there. So that would have been where it all ended right there.
500.
So see 7,000 feet. See that 7,000 on that direct line. There's just peaks that would have done us in. So I did get a little bit of ice on, but you can see that we have we could drop back down now to 6,000. Let's go here. We'll go down to that, and we'll turn the autopilot on. Anyway, we would have been toast, as I say. So I know probably I was trying to. I figured. I believe we probably flew down at we're flying east. East is odd 1,500, so we're probably at 7,500 feet going to Sacramento. Coming back, we were probably trying 8,500, but we were forced because we iced up down to 6,500. Anyway, you can see here we're on course, and 6,000. 5,000 doesn't do it. We're bumping into hills here. It tells me. I think I recall. I would have had to have been at 6,000 feet because we made it through. And 5,000 is too low. So we'll go in here and change this to 6,000. 6,000 right there. Vertical speed. Go up. We'll go up. But go up at 1,600 feet a minute. So 50. 54, 5,600. That fellow would have gotten us. Yeah, I was bumping around at around 6,000 feet, and you can see after this hill here, we make it. And let's just bump this ahead now, because we've proven what we needed to prove, and we just go ahead to final
500.
and save a little time here. That's the icon, which they did go bankrupt. I don't know whether they're still building the icon. I-5. Okay, here we go over the beautiful and look, we are in, this looks like Humboldt Bay right there. Let's see where we end up. Yep, there's and we got our gear down and everything. Look at that. Look at that. And I'll find the airport here. Oh, we're coming right in for it. We have full flap. Yeah, Eureka's off to the left, and Humboldt State is over here on the right. And look at I can see the approach lights, the strobe up at my old mail destination at Arcata. They call that the Redwood. We're too low, so we make it, and then we stall and spin in and finish everybody off that way. Okay, we got the autopilots off. Yep, there we go. So we just come on in and land. Keep it up at about 80. $80 knots. There wasn't a river like that. There was a slough. It did have water in it. Here we go. Little bounce there. A little bounce. Okay, that's just. It didn't keep me awake at night, but when I thought about it, I had a bad feeling about that situation.
Kilo Echo Kilo Alpha Traffic Daher Bravo X-Ray Romeo 70011 miles southeast inbound visual runway 30.
This hangar was larger and it had offices in it.
Kilo Alpha Traffic Daher Bravo
So this
X-Ray
is where
Romeo
our maintenance
700
went
is on
at
final runway 30.
Eureka Aero Industries. Right there. Thanks for riding along. We'll look around at the airport. We'll look up toward Neyland. There's Neyland up there. So you could maybe sneak out when the fog started breaking up. You could sneak out this way, but when it was solid, you couldn't get out. These hills were obscured, so you had to use Neyland for an alternate. And then we'll look over toward Humboldt Bay, and here's California Redwood Coast, Humboldt County. And we called it Arcata Airport back in those days. That's where we did. And these were offices right here. This was all offices, classrooms. And then the maintenance was back in here. And there's Eureka right over there. And that's Highway 101. Goes right by there. This was called Samoa. They had pulp mills over there. Paper pulp. And it was great when it was sunny. When it was foggy, and of course it rained a lot in the winter. Of course the forest, the Douglas fir and the redwoods loved all the rain. And of course I kind of enjoyed it because getting my instrument rating. I had my instrument rating, but getting the instrument experience was really really fun. Okay, there you go. Was the hair-raising event. I had a few of them while I was flying, and that was one of them.